Welcome, everybody. This is the No Politics Podcast. I'm your boy, Faking No Moves, and I'm with my boy, Working Genius.
Working Genius.
Hey, Working Genius.
I can say it myself.
All right, go on, get it.
I'm not totally broken from.
Nah,
we're not gonna get into that.
The computer was lagging. That's what happened because today's been one of those days, man. It's just we haven't dropped a podcast since last Thursday. I mean, the podcast came a little late, but we haven't spoke since last Thursday or Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the chemistry is off right now.
Yeah, nah, we good because
we gonna get it back.
We're gonna talk about Monday Night Raw. So you love to talk shit about Monday Night Raw. So you gonna get right back at home. You're gonna talk your shit.
Get right back in my rhythm.
And then we're gonna talk about Tuesday Night Smackdown. And
you know how that goes.
Also, I don't know how you feel, man. I don't know if we're gonna skip it or what. The Super Bowl.
We're gonna skip it.
We're gonna skip the Super Bowl.
All right, so kicking off Raw.
Nah. But for real, man, I gotta talk about the Super Bowl. Yo, that was crazy, son. They had the lead. All right, they had the lead. I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I feel your pain. Yo, what the hell? Your freaking facial reactions. You're making me feel like we just not even in a podcast. you must be really hurt about the Falcons.
What are we talking about?
Alright, you don't want to talk about the Super Bowl. You just want to talk about wrestling. So,
I mean, okay, we could talk about it. Let's see. There's nothing really for me to say. Oh, here's what I can say. I can say that since the Super Bowl, the media has made such a big deal about Kyle Shanahan and his terrible play calling down the stretch. And I remember in one of our first episodes, in one of the first episodes where we were talking about playoff teams, and we mentioned the Falcons-Seahawks game and how we lost that game in the regular season. And I mentioned we had that game, and Kyle Shanahan had us dropping back to pass with that game in hand. We had the lead. We were playing with a lead. And late in the fourth, Kyle Shanahan had us throwing the ball. And I complained about it then. There's a difference between, being aggressive and overdoing it.
You know what?
And
I specifically remember you speaking on this.
Yeah, because it pissed me off. And now in the biggest game of the year, it comes up and to everyone in the media, it's something new. They're bringing it up like this is unheard of, and for me, I've been watching Kyle Shanahan all year do shit like this.
Basically, you're saying
it really pissed me off.
The 49ers still ain't gonna be shit.
Oh yeah,
because down the stretch, yeah, but
they won't even be playing with the lead to ever give one up. But man,
but your head coach is still really awesome at what he does. So where does this lie on him? Because he is the head coach.
I feel like I don't know how I feel like every team's different when it comes to the chain of command, and who knows if he gives Kyle Shanahan or if he gave Kyle Shanahan all complete control, or if he's still the one to say I want to run here or I want to pass here. Ultimately, he should be able to overrule Kyle Shanahan if it came down to it. And I guess I'm disappointed in the fact that he didn't just go, yo, let's run the ball 3 times.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Why we have Matt Ryan with, dropping back with 5-step drops, and we're in field goal range already late in the fourth. Come on, man. We blew it.
Yeah.
And it was incredibly difficult to watch, and
it was one for the books.
I don't know how to feel.
It was one for the books.
It's personal for me. So
yeah, it's super personal. It's personal for me too. It's still fuck the Patriots. How you
I
feel?
mean, it
Fuck
don't it
how you
don't
feel.
get any
Yo, I
more
got love for
personal
Boston. We
than
got
for me.
listeners in Boston. Check the stats. But, when it comes to football, man, I got to represent Giants. Uh, Atlanta, I was going for Atlanta. I ain't even fronting, you know what I'm saying? But damn, son.
I
One thing I
appreciate
will
it.
say, strong beginning. You guys looked amazing. So, props for that. But damn, it was like that Super Bowl, like Tom Brady's used to that, like that feeling,
Yeah.
the big game. And the funniest thing for that whole thing is the memes. And the one where Tom Brady's looking down is like, whatever prayer he said, I need to learn that
Yep,
one
I
for
need to
later
know
on in
that one.
life. That shit is hilarious. But yeah, all
Did
in
you
all,
see did you see him comment under that meme?
no, I didn't. He did.
He said he quoted what his supposed prayer was, and he wrote, uh, "Hey God, remember that David Tyree thing?" And that was
No way.
that was apparently his prayer. Yeah, he commented that.
Wow.
I actually enjoyed that. Like there was some memes that I saw, and I'm in a mood
He's
when I'm looking
funny
at the
for that.
memes.
He's funny for
I'm
that.
I'm in a I'm in a mood when I'm looking at the memes, so because it's personal, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, these not even funny. Even if I wasn't mad, these not even funny. Like, but when I saw those, I was like, I respect those. Those are
Word.
like, cause I have all the respect in the world for Tom Brady. I'm
Of
not.
course,
I
yeah.
don't think like, of course, credit to them. They came back and won, but we blew it. I'm just that game should not have been blown. As a Falcons fan, we always lose giving up big leads. Like any big game, we a lot of times we lose a big lead. The NFC Championship game against the Niners years ago, we almost blew a lead in the round before it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That playoffs, the year we lost to the Niners, we almost blew it to the Seahawks. We actually did blow it. They took the lead and we had to take it back with like 40 seconds
Another
left.
game
So
you guys blew this year was the Chargers game.
yeah,
That was bad.
we're just bro. We blow games like that all the time, and
Yeah.
it's terrible. I don't know if it wasn't last year. It was probably the year before Mike Smith's last year. We blew the game in London against Detroit. We were up like 20-0 at halftime. Like we blow games all the time, and it's to blow the biggest game in the biggest way is just terrible. I mean, if we were gonna lose, it just seemed appropriate. Like that's how it was, and it was just terrible. We lost in the worst way. And after it, I was saying that people would tell me like, oh, don't even worry about it. You're gonna make it back. Yeah, strong. And afterwards, I was just feeling like like
Nah,
we're
fuck
not
that
the
shit.
Patriots.
You never know
Like
who's gonna make it.
that's what I mean. Like we're not the Patriots. Like we're not. It's not automatic. The league don't love us. We nobody. We just
Yeah.
Atlanta. You know what I mean?
It was a
Look
great
at Carolina
season, though.
last year.
All in all, it was a great season for every team. Like, football is always that one time of the year. I love it. We fucking... Everyone in the world on Sundays is tuned in, locked in, and, if you're a football fan, you know how it feels. Football season every Sunday. It's amazing. And, good year for
Listen,
Atlanta, good year for the Patriots.
listen. I'm glad you had fun this year.
Yeah, I mean, my Giants, we actually made the playoffs. It has been 3 years, so,
I'm glad you had fun this year. I hated it.
But all in all, great season. So, back to our regular scheduled program. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. We're going to talk about Tuesday Night Smackdown Live. And I don't know about you, but I went back and I watched a little bit of Raw and SmackDown just to refresh my memory. And Raw started off with Samoa Joe. Well, really with Mick Foley and Stephanie. Mick Foley was supposed to introduce Samoa Joe. He really didn't put no emphasis. He wasn't feeling Joe. So then Joe comes out and Stephanie goes, let me introduce you the proper way. And, she reintroduces him. And Joe was looking sharp. My man had the haircut. The beard was gone. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, no way. It's like really like... kind of reminds me of like some corporate shit, But
Authority, basically.
yeah, an authority, and that was the last thing I thought I would see Joe do. But fuck it, like it was cool to see a different
He
side
looked
of
like a
him.
mob boss.
Yeah, right.
That's the feeling I got. I was like, this guy joined the mafia is what it looks like.
Yeah, that was dope. And then right when he was getting into his whole thing about 18 years of doing what he loves just to get to this point, Roman Reigns interrupts him and basically steps to him and goes, "I don't think I actually met you." Like, my name's Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Roman wasn't bad on the mic. I'm not gonna lie. It was a cool little
He
segment.
wasn't.
I wasn't
Let's
thinking about
let's
Roman stepping to him, but you know what? It was interesting to see them, go face to face.
let's not gloss over Samoa Joe's promo neither.
Yeah.
I thought
No,
his
that was
shit
the
was
best
strong and
mic work. Yeah, of course, of everything that happened in the opening segment with Samoa Joe. But
yeah,
Roman Reigns played his part, and it was cool to see them go head to head.
absolutely. Absolutely. No, I agree. Like, a lot of times I'll shit on Roman, but nah, like, I even said it the last time Roman was on the mic. Like, he was good the last time they had him with a mic in his hand. This time it was no different. Short and sweet, you know what I'm saying? Um, Samoa Joe said something that I loved. He said, I will beat down your heroes. I will choke them out. And when they wake up, I'll beat them down again. And to me, that's
he went all
like,
out on
yeah,
that
that
on
sums
that
it up.
promo. It was amazing. I'm happy for Joe, man.
Yep. I think there was a lot of boos when Reigns came out. It's just because when Reigns comes out, no matter who, like when you see someone like Joe and then you hear Reigns come out, you're just like, oh man, here they go trying to bury Joe, and Joe just got here. That's
Yeah.
the feeling you get, and so it's like, that's why Reigns gets booed. But they set up what did they do? They set
Main
up the match
event.
for later, right then and there.
Yep, right there. Mick Foley. Mick Foley got a
Yeah.
good idea, even though he wasn't feeling Joe at first. And then we move on to Nia Jax versus Bayley, which they showed a package, I guess, showing everything that's been going on. And I don't know how you feel about this match, but it is playing a role now in a bigger story. So I paid attention to it. I didn't really like the match. To me, was kind of quick. Nia kind of dominated, and Nia wins with a Samoan drop. So I guess that's a move,
Yeah,
and she gets
I
the pin.
mean, for her, it does look strong.
Yeah.
It's a good move for her. I don't mind it.
Charlotte came out.
Uh,
Charlotte came out during the match.
yeah, for a distraction.
Yep. So that's
She
even.
distracts Bailey, and
Yep.
Bailey turns around, gets Samoan drop.
Yeah, and I guess we see what's going on there. They're setting up that 4-way. But
Yeah, it's pretty clear at this point.
right after that match, we go into a Braun Strowman match, and he's facing 4 jobbers. And if you blinked, you might have not even known that this match was on the card. But
I blinked. I must have blinked.
yeah,
then.
like I said, I went back to listen to it. I mean, to watch it and pay attention to what I missed. But anyway, Braun Strowman actually impressed me. Like, I know, like we talked about them doing the squash matches and how they did that with Braun for a minute, and they didn't do it with Nia. But he had 4 scrawny dudes. One of the dudes had blonde hair and looked like AJ Styles, like a midget AJ Styles. I'm not even gonna lie, but he just destroyed them. One of the dudes ended up running away, leaving the ring and just running and abandoning the other 3. And then he hit his finisher on one of them, and then just stacked all 3 of them up and pinned them.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it because I figured that. I mean, I thought it would be unnecessary.
Then he got up.
It was on.
Then he got up
like,
and he went to the
whatever.
back, and he got the mic. He was like, "Foley, I told you I want a competition. If this is your idea, now I'm coming to find you. Like, now you screwed up because I'm coming for you." So he goes to the
Exactly.
back, and Mick Foley's like, "I ain't scared. I knew you was scared." He was like, "I'm right here, Braun." He said, "For real." And he was like, "Foley, I told you I wanted competition. You think that's your idea, competition?" And Foley was like, "Well, it was 4 guys. It was kind of impressive." And he was like, "I want everybody. Give me everybody." He was like, "You know what? You want your match? You got your match at Fastlane. A one-on-one match with Roman Reigns." Boom. Set up the match right there. So I was digging that backstage little Mick Foley, Braun Strowman
One thing I did like about it from a storytelling perspective is that okay, I didn't necessarily watch the 1-on-4
Yeah.
destruction. I saw the beginning of it and I was like, that's enough. And I like the idea that they set him up against a bunch of jobbers in a squash match, and then they used that. They didn't just give us this squash match and okay, there it is.
Yep.
No, they gave us this to advance the story that this is all Foley has for me. You know what I mean? This
Yep.
is all you got for me. They used it as a device to move the story along, and it plays into what we see later in the night. So I liked it from a storytelling perspective.
Me too.
I'll
Me
give
too.
it that.
I definitely did. And moving on, we got the debut for Monday Night Raw of Akira Tozawa, and they spoke about him, and like they gave him a bunch of big ups and credit and props, and talked about his history with Cesaro and other wrestlers in the locker room today, like Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins. I think they said Daniel Bryan even he wrestled with. He was the third member to graduate from one of these wrestling gyms in Japan. They even mentioned, and they showed a package. Then his matches with Drew Gulak, and I don't know. I fuck with Tozawa. I don't know how you felt about the match, but I I I gotta give it its props for the cruiserweights. I fucked with it. I like that. I like when they do the packages to explain the guy who's debuting on Monday Night Raw. It makes me engaged, and props to this match, man.
Absolutely agree on the packages. We talked about this last week. When you show us a package, you give us something to look for. You're showing us that this person's important. You're trying to pique our interest before the match even starts. You're not just throwing them in the match and then we have to figure it out along the way. We just when we get the package, we can see like okay, there's something to look forward to as far as the match. I love Tozawa from the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yep.
I love his whole thing, his screaming.
Yeah.
That got over with the crowd a lot in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
I don't know how it'll do on the main roster, but we'll
No,
see.
it was actually getting over on the main roster too.
Yeah, I heard it a little bit, but I wish it would be to the extent like the crowd loved it at Full Sail.
Yeah.
During the Cruiserweight Classic, like even when he wasn't doing it, they would do it to like kind of like fuck with him.
Okay.
And I like the match. Solid action.
Yo,
He wins.
his finish.
As expected.
His German suplex.
That German suplex that
Ooh,
snapped
man.
like German.
And then Brian Kendrick comes out at the end to shake his hand.
I love that.
That was
just to
dope.
shake his hand.
Yup.
Because didn't Brian Kendrick do that recently with someone else?
I think it was
Like,
with Neville.
It was Neville, right?
Yeah.
He's always like trying to get on the good side of these guys who he sees as a threat, and I love that about his character.
Yep.
I actually like that. Unfortunately, this probably means Tozawa's gonna lose next week, just like Mustafa Ali, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, right. I know. True.
But we'll see.
True. You're right. So let's move on then. I think they went to commercial. They come back, and as soon as they come back, Kevin Owens' music hits. The crowd popped big when that song dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were fucking with it. Yep. And
yo, that's one song I gotta mention. I was listening to it on YouTube, and when the song played, it sounds so weird without the pop.
word.
You know how always Kevin Owens' song has that pop
Yeah.
right at the beginning? It sounds if you were to look up that song on YouTube right now and listen to it and just hear the pause and no pop from the crowd, like it sounds like
but
out of place.
we heard it live in Barclays. Remember?
That's what I'm saying.
I was thinking about that.
Pop,
like what? It was banging. I was like, yo, I fuck with this shit.
that pop is so like it's. I can't hear that song without the pop. Like the pop is always there, like majority of the time. That if you were to hear it without it, you'd be like, "What the fuck?" Like you'd pause for a second too.
Word. So
continue with the segment.
KO and Chris Jericho come in the ring, and Jericho goes off about how he's the greatest of all time, and he goes in on Tom Brady, puts Tom Brady on the list. He was like,
I
this
was
guy's
okay with
trying to
that.
be the GOAT. He's trying to be like me. You know what happens when you try to imitate Chris Jericho? You go on the list. And yeah, basically he talks about that, and then he talks about the biggest headline for WrestleMania will be best friend versus best friend, and then Owens was kind of like, that would be big, but I don't know if I could fight my best friend. That was
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Owens is shook.
And then Goldberg's music hits, and Goldberg comes to
Yeah.
the ring, and then basically he goes, you got two options. You could either, stand and get like fucked up, or you could get out the ring and get out the way. And they kind of back up. Jericho looked tight.
Yeah.
And Owens kind of backed up with it. Was like, wait, let's see what he got to say. Let's
Yeah,
see
let's
what he
see what
got
he
to
has to
say.
say. Yep.
So that was cool. And then basically he addressed Brock Lesnar. He said he don't back down from a fight. And WrestleMania challenge in Orlando, he accepts. At that point, I don't know, Jericho or Owens, one of them interrupts.
Owens, yes. Owens says, Owens comes up on him and he starts clapping. And he goes, that match would be the perfect
Code,
undercard
yeah, undercard.
for our main event.
And Mania, best friend versus best friend, yep. And then Goldberg got in his face and mentioned that he doesn't have a opponent. He was like, I heard you got an open card for Fastlane.
Fastlane.
Yep. And what happens? You finish it off.
And I love this too. So Jericho kind of steps to him. And now Jericho is like going at Goldberg, and he's like, you know what? I never liked you.
Yeah.
and he's talking his shit, and he's like going in kind of, and they're getting riled up, and he goes, so you know what? At Fastlane, it's gonna be Goldberg versus Kevin Owens for the Universal title.
Also, we can't skip the fact that he was like, you know what happens to you? And then Goldberg's like, snatches the fucking list and puts his name on the list and goes,
his name
guess
on
what?
it.
Goldberg's on the list.
Yeah. No, Goldberg's been dope. Goldberg's been dope.
Yeah.
I personally, I think so. That's not my problem at all. I'm going to talk about my issue with this in a minute. But before we get to that, Jericho kind of volunteers Owens to defend his title, similarly to how Kevin Owens volunteered Jericho to defend his U.S. title against Reigns that night.
Yep.
The night before the most recent pay-per-view, Royal Rumble. So it was very similar, and he kind of volunteered Owens to defend his title. Owens was upset. But Jericho was like, nah, you got it. Same kind of way Owens was telling Jericho, you got it. And, okay, so can I get into my issue with this?
Yeah.
Let me get into it.
Go ahead.
All right. I don't know how you feel about it. Like I just said, I love Goldberg. The idea of Goldberg's not going to lose this match.
Yeah.
I mean, here's what I'm hoping for. I don't think Goldberg needs to win this title, first of all. I don't care. Goldberg Lesnar for the title? Come on. That's kind of like how they got booed because they were leaving.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost going to be like they're going to get booed because these guys are fighting for the titles and they're never around. They're part-timers. Come on, like, the Universal title is going to go to Goldberg or Lesnar.
That's what they're saying.
Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that Lesnar interferes in this match just to build more heat, and Lesnar actually one-ups Goldberg here because he's been dominated by Goldberg. Okay. So have Lesnar interfere. Owens will retain.
Let's see Goldberg take a fucking F5.
Exactly.
We haven't seen a fucking F5. Nah, they got to save that for Mania, though. For the belt.
Then it could just be a German. It could just be a German.
A German.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hit him with a German.
But Brock Lesnar's Vince McMahon's love child.
You think so?
I think, well, I don't know. Like, they really fuck with Brock Lesnar hard. Like, they really respect him. Like, all his wrestling credentials and
But from the looks of it, they fuck with Goldberg hard
They
too.
don't, cause that's why they're gonna give Goldberg his belt. They did it with Rock. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I'm hoping they don't give him the belt. Let's
And
avoid
then
that.
have Brock get that belt back because Brock they want to build legacies. There's certain dudes it's about the legacy when they do it. You know what I mean?
I don't give a shit about the
I
legacy.
understand. I understand why you wouldn't. But it might happen. I'm saying if it doesn't happen, that's not like I'm gonna be mad it didn't happen, you know?
This is similar to like Cena winning the title if he's about to lose it
But
at the
me
Chamber. Like
I
don't
feel
just do it to do it.
I feel the inner, wrestling nerd in me says the inner wrestling nerd in Kevin Owens is like, fuck it, I'll lose to Goldberg. Like he's a legend. Like, as long as I'm in the ring with him, I get that moment. You never know. Like I had my reign, I'm gonna get the belt again. I'm still in this game.
Fuck that. I'm hoping Lesnar interferes and we don't have to deal with Goldberg and Lesnar for the Universal title. Like, come on. I
But
don't want this. Oh man. It doesn't need a title. Simple as that. I've mentioned it before. Certain matches, they just don't need a title. Undertaker's match doesn't need a title. Like,
yeah.
we're going to watch that anyway.
Yeah.
We'd watch Goldberg and Lesnar anyway. Come on, don't ruin that.
Well, you know what? Talking about like matches like that, WrestleMania, I kind of now don't even want to see Taker Reigns. I think I want to see Reigns Braun, but we'll get into that towards the end.
I don't want to see Taker Reigns either.
But let's move on because this was a big part of Monday Night Raw, Goldberg and Owens. So we did have to spend time talking about it, but everything else we could go through quick. But also when they get backstage, Owens is like, tell him why'd he put him in the match and stuff, and then Jericho also was like, don't worry, I always help you win before, you always help me, we got each other's back, and he was like, you're right. You know what I'm saying? So then next we get a tag team championship title match because Cesaro and Sheamus take their rematch clause and they basically invoke it. Is that the word?
Invoke, yes.
Yes. Okay. So Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Getting wordy tonight.
Hey, you like that, right? So Cesaro and Sheamus actually come out first, and then Luke Gallows.
Damn, you use the word invoke, and 4 seconds later, you fucking up simple ass names.
Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, not Luke Carlos. yo, they come to the ring after. It was a cool little match. Big Cass and Enzo were ringside. You know how I feel about how their storyline been going. So this is interesting, like, for them to just do this, So I wasn't mad at it. Somehow, even the match was good, but who went ringside? Was it Luke Gallows who went at Enzo and then Cass hit him with a big boot and then the disqualification happened?
Yes.
Yep.
Like you said, I liked Enzo and Cass being ringside just because it means that they're finally moving on from the whole Rusev shit.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like week after week.
Or
like,
what this really means is Rusev and Jinder Mahal now are going to try to screw them over on something, and then there's going to be a fatal 4-way tag match, and Jinder Mahal and Rusev will be involved in that too. Oh, you didn't think about that. I'm here to ruin your day.
I didn't care.
Oh, wait, but we can't forget about New Day and Shining Stars, so it's going to be a 6-tag elimination Texas Tornado match.
We can forget about that because until you said something, I had chosen to forget
and
about
guess
that.
what we're going to have
we weren't gonna
as the perfect segue into WrestleMania when New Day and comes in that match? Ice cream.
That was okay. I forgot about that. I'm mad. I forgot about that. That was the one. That was the one thing I cared about. I remembered that more than I even remembered the fact that they had a match with the Shining Stars. I
wasn't mad at their match with the Shining Stars.
Says you. I just.
We're trying to get the tag division more involved. That's what it's about.
Guess. I mean, at least New Day had a legitimate match with someone. Whatever. I just like you got the Shining Stars, you got the New Day, the longest reigning tag champs, and they're fighting the Shining Stars. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But they got the win pretty clean. So just building them. They're still strong. We can't forget about them. They're still
Okay.
reinventing themselves. They're still making themselves become the hottest in the game. And them versus the club is gonna be awesome when it's for the belts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It might not happen at Mania because everybody got to get shine. That's the thing with Mania. You don't want to leave certain people out. You know, so I understand where they're going for now, but by the time Mania comes, if this ice cream shit's real, New Day's gonna be back on top in no time.
Yeah, of
You
course.
know what I'm saying?
They'll definitely. Yep.
So moving on, we get Chris Jericho defending his U.S. belt against Sami Zayn. And they had a good match too. Again, that's why I'm saying I can't even hate on Monday Night Raw this week because last week we did talk about the fact that they got thrown together, no story. They didn't interact in the Royal Rumble with each other. So why would they just give Sami Zayn the opportunity for number one contenders match? But it happened, and then he won, and
But it happened. Yes, it just happened.
and now they have their title match. And I thought it was a good match. And Owens ultimately, has Chris Jericho's back and helps him retain his title. And hits first Jericho had Zayn. We can't not forget about this in the walls of Jericho.
Yes,
And then he
finally.
breaks the count with the rope. And
Because nobody ever taps out from the walls of Jericho ever anymore.
hey, watch your mouth about Jericho's walls.
I love it. I'm just saying nobody taps out to it
Nah.
anymore. It's like the fuck.
I feel you. It's like the figure four. Once you become a legend, you just do it to put people over.
I guess.
But Owens hits Zayn with the super kick. He goes back and Jericho gets him in the code breaker. Boom. 1, 2, 3. It's over. I thought that was a good match, man. I fucked with it. Like I
I
said
thought it
last
was
week, anytime they have a match, it's gonna be good.
absolutely. I thought it was a hell of a match. I'm not taking anything away from it. I just wonder what's next. I'm guessing this is gonna ultimately lead to what? Jericho and Zayn for the US title at Fastlane? Because if Zayn keeps losing but he's not getting a fair shot, they're gonna keep putting him in this, right? They're gonna keep giving him his shot.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Maybe this means Zayn beats Jericho for the US title?
Nah.
No? You don't think so?
I think it was
If
just a filler.
if I mean
And the
if
reason to me,
Owens
I think it makes sense
loses
is because we all know KO and Zayn's, history.
mhm.
So, hey, just throw them in there, give them a couple. They were really best friends in real life, so it's cool to see him kind of get mixed in it a little bit. But I think it's only filler because that belt has to be on the line for when they do have the friend versus friend match at Mania. It's not gonna be for the
So
Universal belt.
so
It's gonna
you're
be for that belt.
okay, see that's the discussion.
Cause I feel,
If Owens loses the Universal title at Fastlane, then they're gonna need Jericho to keep the US title.
but see, that's the thing. Owens is gonna have to help Jericho retain first, and then Jericho's not gonna be able to help Owens retain.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. So that's
One or the other.
that's how I feel. And then we get the match for
Or
Mania,
Jericho.
and then there'll be the co-main
Okay.
event to or the undercard to Brock and Goldberg
Yeah,
and Randy versus Bray,
I can see it.
right? Even though it does, I want to jump into SmackDown so badly now because that sucks for Cena. But anyway, let's move on. Because future female Cena, Charlotte, cuts a promo on Sasha while Sasha's backstage getting wrapped up. And she says, wow, just to think, a month ago they thought we were equal. Now look at you. All broken down. Like, I like that. I fucked with it. How you felt about that? And she was like, you're injured and I'm making history.
I like that short, sweet, adding fuel to the fire of all four of these girls. Kind of just
Yep.
like notice, like you said, they had Nia Jackson Bailey in a match earlier.
And Charlotte
Charlotte
got
had
involved.
her little thing, and then Charlotte goes and finds Sasha to trash talk
Yep.
her. It's
Yep.
just so just building up to that fatal 4-way.
And then after this is when we could kind of skim through this stuff. It's kind of when it slows down, even though it does involve the cruiserweights. But, Austin Aries was in the ring. So, like we always say, it's great to see Austin. That's always the best part of these things. He introduces
Yes,
Neville.
sir.
He talks to Neville.
Did you peep the banana in his pocket?
Yes, I peeped it, but not while it was live. I peeped it afterwards.
It was beautiful.
Right? And then he introduces Neville. He interviews him about, I guess, like the competitors who are gonna face off in 205 Live for number one contendership. And then they all come out. Cedric Alexander comes out first. Noam Dar, Jack Gallagher, Tony Nese, and T.J. Perkins last. And they all say their little stuff on the mic to insult each other.
I gotta say, did you notice Tony Nese did not have a mic?
Yeah, he was the only one who didn't talk.
He was the only one. And remember the last time we saw Tony Nese, he was when Austin Aries tried to interview him.
Yeah, it was like that. He has no personality, basically.
Basically. Yeah. And now he doesn't have a mic.
Yep. And then
I enjoyed that.
They all get in the ring. Oh yeah, Perkins pops off first. That was interesting too.
Perkins is coming for that title.
Word, he popped on Tony Nese of all of them too.
Yeah.
And then
and then surprisingly, I thought it would just end, but it actually
brawled,
led to
and then they did a 3-on-3 with the good guys and the bad guys.
Yes.
And the good guys got the win because
Neville walked out on.
Yep, Neville walked out on them. Yep,
the
and then Cedric Alexander hit his lumber check and got the win. And you said you loved that move.
That shit is vicious.
Yeah, that shit's dope.
Yeah.
And then we get another backstage segment before we end the night. And it's Jericho telling Owens that they need to have a festival of friendship to show everyone how great their friendship is next week on Monday Night Raw.
I agree.
What can we expect from this festival of friendship?
For it to be crashed.
Of course. But
like it
would be dope if they could get a Ferris wheel in the ring.
I hope. Wow, you're shooting for the stars.
If it's a festival.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know.
Or on the ramp,
I'm hoping they do some. They do some funny shit. I'm hoping we get like a video, like a montage of like all their good times. Just doing.
Mick Foley better hook that shit up, man. Mick Foley better hook up that friendship festival, man.
Because when you think about it, like we're not very far from their friendship being torn apart.
Yeah.
If this is supposed to go down at Mania, we're losing one of the best friendships. Like, it's unfortunate that it's really unfortunate that
their friendship
Mania
is great.
Has
They'll
to do
always
this.
be friends. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, their deadline though is Mania, so it's sucks to think about. Damn, we're only 6-7 weeks away from Mania. So
how do we
only
move
got
on?
6 more episodes. Exactly, especially because I believe Jericho is leaving in shortly after Mania,
Probably.
So that's it.
Yo, I just want to say this now. I mean, we got a couple more weeks to say, but man, I love Y2J Chris Jericho for everything that he has done since he's been back in the WWE for this stint, because he does it all the time. But up to before this stint, he was in and out 2 months, 1 month, 3 months, 4 months. Short terms. It's been a full freaking year since him and AJ Styles and all that good stuff. Or 2 years. He been for a minute already.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been at least a year and a half, I want to say.
Yeah.
Maybe 2, but at least a year and a half.
Yeah. He's the only legend that'll come back and do that, man. He does go down as one of the greatest of all times. In my book, at least, for sure.
For sure. I agree. We have the same book.
So let's move on to the main event. Samoa Joe against Roman Reigns. Reigns comes out first. He's walking down the ramp. And we don't even get to hear the music. He just comes out and just blasts your boy. Even though he's not your boy. I'm just saying that in terms, you know what I mean? But, Samoa Joe comes out and attacks Roman Reigns from behind. And just starts beating him down ringside until we go to the commercial break. And then when we come back, they're in the ring. Because like you said last week, Reigns is an invincible superhero. So he's in the corner holding his shoulder. And he just feels the boos from the crowd just make him stronger. And we get it popping. The bell rings, and Joe has control for the better beginning part of the match. He gets him in a nice back where he's stretching his arms out. Damn, I forgot the name of the move, but like a stretch move. And
and this is the moment Reigns is supposed to break out of it and pick up his offense and pick up his own momentum.
Yeah. And then Reigns starts basically doing that.
Right, just gets him in the corner.
Gets him in the corner at one point.
Starts kind of like, what does he do? Just striking him?
Yeah, he's
just,
going, toe to toe.
Kind of like a clothesline in the corner almost.
Hitting him and then he hits him with a Samoan drop, and basically starts setting him up for the finish.
Does his little drive-by move
but
on the outside.
Joe escapes, and then he does the drive-by, gets him back in the ring, goes to get the spear, and then who comes out? Braun Strowman. And I liked how it ended with Strowman. I know you have strong feelings on the way that the ending was seeming to go with Joe. And before we get to those thoughts, I'm just going to say, when Strowman came out, he was coming up to the ramp. And last week we spoke about how Roman Reigns interrupted Strowman. And when he was coming to the ramp and Strowman was in the ring, you mentioned this. Strowman took so long to recognize, he's coming. And Roman Reigns gets him in a Superman punch or some shit like that. Mad quick, you didn't see him coming in. But this time when Strowman's coming to the ring, Reigns gets him first again. The opposite. That shit was hilarious. I was thinking about last week how you mentioned that the opposite way though. So that was funny. But then Strowman actually ends up getting the better of Reigns and taking him out ringside, giving Samoa Joe the win by disqualification. He tears up those stairs that Reigns jumped off last week that I was talking about, basically making a statement you ain't gonna do that shit tonight. And then picks him up in his finisher, and the way we end Raw, he throws him does his finisher and slams him into the barricade and just lays him out on the floor where the crowd is. And then we end Raw with Reigns laid out like that. I fucked with that ending right there, but I understand how you felt about the Joe, so let's get to it. Spill it.
All right. Before we get to that ending, that finish, I just have to say that, first of all, I wasn't even going to mention what you just mentioned about Reigns getting the hit on Strowman first, getting the drop on Strowman, even though last week in the same situation, Reigns still got the drop on Strowman.
Exactly.
It's just no matter what, Reigns gets the drop on you first. But my problem with this was that Joe did not from the looks of it, Joe was going to lose.
Yeah.
Joe was going to lose if Strowman did not show up. Joe was about to get Superman punched and speared, or I don't even know if he hit him with the Superman punch and he was about to spear him. I don't know exactly. I don't remember exactly. But Joe was about to lose if he didn't get saved by Strowman, basically. And I just think that's a terrible way to book Samoa Joe in his first night.
But that's how they made it look like Joe was going to lose. Because, technically, if it was supposed to be set up like that, maybe Joe would have got that W. I don't know. I understand because it's kind of when I try to think of a way to counter that response, I thought, damn. But if you compare it to the way, Finn Balor was booked, he beat Reigns and someone else in the same night. And then went on to beat Seth Rollins. Clean. All those matches.
Yeah.
So I was like, but Joe is coming in as the destroyer, and then they kind of want to give him a reality check with Roman. You know what I mean? You think you're that bad. And then the crowd just, because they want the crowd to boo him and make him a bad guy.
why does Joe need a reality check? Like
Like
Joe,
the
what
very
Joe
next,
needs.
very next
Here,
week.
here's my problem. Like, as fans of Joe who see him in NXT and who know him from even before NXT and the WWE, we know Joe is the man, right?
Yeah,
But for people who don't know Joe at this point, they're just like, man, this guy's a scrub. He was about to lose. Like,
I
you know
understand.
what I mean? Like for people that don't know that don't know Joe at all, it's like, oh man, look, this guy had to cheat to win. You know, we've been looking for that dominant heel
Yeah,
who doesn't have to cheat to win. Right now, I guess the most dominant heel you could say is Strowman,
yeah.
but he might be the only one.
Joe could have been a great dominant heel as well, and you kind of dropped the ball
Exactly.
doing that. I feel like you're 100% correct.
You can't drop the ball this early.
Yes,
Like
especially this
you're
early.
already fighting an uphill battle at
And
this
now we're
point.
not going to see Triple H.
Yeah, like
Tripp should have been there too
yeah,
to greet him into Raw, Monday Night
yeah.
Raw, or you know what I'm saying? Especially
So
knowing that he has his history with Roman too.
yeah, exactly. I mean, to me, like even if you made it look like Joe was about to win and then have Strowman interfere, like maybe Joe could have beef with Strowman a little. Like
Yeah,
it wouldn't be bad just for two heels to kind of like not fuck with each other. You know what I
you're
mean?
right.
Like
You're right.
Joe don't have to hit him, but you know, like to look at him like, damn, you just kind of cost me. You know, something like that. But like I don't know. I just didn't like how it made Joe look in his debut, all for the purpose of, you know, again, Reigns looking dominant.
And then
So
actually it was Strowman, all for the purpose of
yeah,
Strowman.
yeah. So but now I
But
I don't know how to feel. Here's my problem with this. I'm not gonna go too much into it because there's still about 2 weeks till Fastlane, but we're gonna get Reigns Strowman at Fastlane, and the finish for that is likely to be, if they're gonna do Reigns Taker at Mania, I could guarantee that we're not gonna get a finish there either. We might not get a finish in Goldberg Owens if Lesnar interferes. We might not get a finish for Reigns and Strowman. Like for sure, we're not gonna get a finish in Reigns and Strowman because they're not gonna let Strowman get pinned, and they're not gonna let Reigns get pinned.
really, Strowman needs to win that match clean.
It's not gonna
It's
happen.
not gonna happen, but that because probably as well, they're probably thinking if he wins clean, then we got to do something big for him now going into Mania. And what do we got for him now? Nobody knows.
Yeah, still nobody knows Strowman. I'm thinking Strowman Corbin, like we predicted weeks ago,
Nah, at this
episodes
point,
ago.
I doubt it.
I don't know. Who
Who
knows?
knows?
Who knows? Nothing's clear about Strowman yet. That's the problem. Like nothing's clear about Strowman. So if it's gonna be Reigns Strowman, man, like, and they're gonna do Taker Reigns, Taker will show up, or at the very least, that gong will go off. And at least, like, if they do it right, maybe the gong just goes off. Reigns freaks out, and then like is looking around, and Strowman capitalizes, and they have Strowman pin Reigns. I would like that. I would be more okay with that than Taker
But then
interfering. They're gonna
Taker's
have
still
Taker
not on
interfere in some way.
SmackDown.
They're gonna have Taker interfere in some way, and so if they do that in that one, then I'm guessing Goldberg takes the title of Owens because they're not gonna have Lesnar interfere in that one. Like why you can't have an interference in both your, you know, top matches at Fastlane.
Yeah.
So it's like one or the other.
Hmm.
So it's either Owens is losing his title, or or we're gonna get two
Owens is
interferences.
definitely gonna lose the title.
Unfortunately, see, that's what I'm hoping.
But
Again,
listen, I don't want to. Well, let's end it right there with Monday Night Raw. All in all, I think it had us talking. I think I definitely came and represented Raw and made my points about it that it was a good Raw. I fucked with the episode, but I want to move on to SmackDown
just like everyone.
and I want to talk about Elimination Chamber. Maybe make some predictions.
Absolutely, we absolutely need to do that.
Okay.
I'm glad you
You
remembered.
down?
Perfect.
You want? Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Yo, it's like divine space in my mind state. More like divine fate, anytime, place. I told you it's the circus freaks boosting the crime rate. I told you it's the circus freaks boosting the crime rate. Yo, it's the verbal torturer, yep, lyrical slaughterer. Facilitate ceremonies while orchestrating the orchestra. Life's a stupid bitch, nigga, and I'm already bored with us. So watch me kill these niggas, then shake hands with the coroner. Fucker, yep, the Lord taketh, the Lord giveth. All people, all equal, born different. A dreamer, but I ain't the only one. We all gifted, but it's like this generation's state of mind is all shifted. A piece of the people's population in all prisons. Drug blocks, gunshots, souls risen. The world's corrupted through the oil trade and gold business. So sit and dream or live your dream, there's a bold difference. Back then they used to criticize and laugh at you. Back then they used to criticize and laugh at you. Yeah, when all the love and loyalty is way past due. Point the finger, three fingers is pointing back at you. So who to blame? Me, you.
And we're back, everybody. So we're gonna jump into SmackDown, but before we jump into SmackDown, we gotta mention some of our commenters that commented during Raw. We didn't forget about you guys. So, Working Genius.
My man, I gotta mention my man Agasti316. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. AGASTI 316. He also mentioned the idea of Lesnar interfering and costing Goldberg at Fastlane, as well as
Agasti.
when I mentioned the Taker interference. He also said he feels like that could be right too. Also, shout out to C Harrison 97. He said regarding the Goldberg-Owens match at Fastlane, he said he's not a fan. KO and Jericho have carried Raw all year and deserve to go into Mania with the title. It feels like KO and Jericho have done all the hard work for Lesnar and Goldberg to take the rewards. For me, I thought that was spot on. I absolutely agree with that. So shout out to y'all for participating and adding to the conversation. Y'all always come with some good thoughts. Keep them coming. Feel me?
Yep. And just like that, we're gonna jump into SmackDown. So we kick off SmackDown with Daniel Bryan coming down to the ring in his hometown of Seattle, Washington. And let me tell you something. Last week, we shitted on Texas. Wherever Raw was, it started with an L. They had to take the L anyway. They took the L. They took the L. Laredo took the L.
They was in Laredo, Texas last week.
Exactly. And then Corpus Christi. They were both horrible. But Seattle was lit.
Yo, it was incredible. I was like, this is going to be a great episode.
Yup. And Daniel Bryan had a great promo about him being grateful because that was his last, promo in Seattle in that arena when he retired. And he had mentioned being a father soon. And Miz came out and Miz said some harsh shit. Miz said some harsh shit, man. He was like, you should deserve to be a stay-at-home dad. You can't even get in this ring. Why are you even in here if you can't wrestle? And then Daniel Bryan was like, hey, it never stopped you from getting in the ring.
I thought that was great.
And then from there, Baron Corbin comes out. And then Dean Ambrose comes out. And Dean Ambrose had some funny stuff, too. He was like that Corbin ripped off the motorcycle song from his entrance.
Motorcycle sounds, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was also saying, like, Miz, I can't even talk to you straight when you're wearing that, man. Like, what the hell? You look like a shoe. That shit was funny. Yeah. And then AJ Styles came out, and he was trying to rip into them, but the crowd was loving him. And he was like, I'm trying to talk here. Shut up. I love that, how he went back at them.
Absolutely.
Even though they love him.
Yo, but, like, the crowd was, like, so hot for, like, everyone. And, like, for the most part, Miz was the only one who could get heat. Yeah. And he was, like, taking up all the heat during this thing. It was awesome. Yeah, it was really fucking good. And, I mean, whenever Miz says, when my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut, that's like the perfect way to draw heat, bro.
I love it. I love it.
That is an amazing line that he uses. And yeah, he was getting all the heat. And then what do we get?
Then we get a fatal 4-way match set up by Daniel Bryan because he loved what was happening in the ring, and he was like, "By the way, the match starts now." And we got a freaking amazing match.
To start
Am I
off
right?
the night. Yep. I love that they do this because like a lot of times they'll have the main event set up a week in advance. Like we knew the main event was Cena Orton since last week. So I like when, they don't just have bullshit up to that point. What they'll do is they'll come and start off with a bang right off the bat so that we feel like, wow, SmackDown started off with a bang, and we still got the highly anticipated main event to look forward to at the end of the night. So I really like what they do with that when they start nights off with a bang, just like this. So
I love the beginning. I love the middle, the all the interactions with each other, and I really, really, really love the end. Specifically, Dean Ambrose went for the lunatic lariat, and AJ Styles ducked under it, jumped on the rope, did a moonsault into a reverse DDT.
yeah, I love when he does that. The first time I ever saw him do that was actually, I don't know if you remember, it was one of my favorite matches of, I believe it was last year. It could have been, was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. It was Styles Jericho versus New Day for the tag titles on Raw. That was when he first did it, and when he did it to Kofi, I believe. And when he did it, after he does the moonsault, he'll land and then reverse DDT. But when he initially did it, when he landed, like there was no pause. It was like it went right into the reverse DDT, like on the flip and on the land. So, I mean, it'll never look as good to me as it did then, but it's still
And Kofi
an awesome.
made it
It's
look
still
good,
an awesome fucking move.
Word. But yeah, he did that, and then Corbin gets involved and gets the pin. Corbin hits him with the end of days, right?
Yes, sir. Hit Styles with the end of days.
Days, yep, and gets the pin.
Okay.
That was a nice ending. I like that.
Man, I gotta say,
and Corbin gets the clean win over the former champ.
Exactly. Here's the thing. I gotta mention this. SmackDown did a brilliant fucking job with this because a lot of times with Raw, I always come out of certain situations feeling like, okay, well, that didn't help this person or that didn't help that person. This match, we saw Ambrose dominate for a portion of this match. Ambrose was in control for a portion of this match. We saw Miz have control early on in this match. We saw Miz do a running knee, bro.
Yeah.
We have to mention Miz doing the running knee like Daniel Bryan. Like,
oh, shit, word.
Like, that was awesome to me.
He did a bunch of shit like Daniel Bryan.
That's his thing.
And the crowd was going, no.
Yeah, but this is the first time I think I've seen him do the running knee. Like, he does the kicks all the time. But the running knee, that was crazy. And the running
drop kicks when you're in the turnbuckle on the corners.
So Miz had a good moment. Ambrose, I just mentioned. Styles always looks fucking good. You know what I'm saying? Of course. Styles always looks good. And
Corbin gets the pin.
Corbin gets the pin. So Corbin looks good. It was perfect, bro. Like none of us see Styles get pinned and go, damn, Styles looks weak. No, we never think that because Styles always looks awesome. So what that does is this elevates Corbin so fucking much going into the Chamber match because he just pinned Styles. So this was like mind-blowingly brilliantly booked in my opinion, and like going into the Chamber, like this is fucking awesome. Like I'm really looking forward to that.
I can't wait. Oh my god. That was so dope, that match. But yeah, we could spend all day talking about that match, but we got to move on. So next up was Tom Phillips doing an interview via satellite with Nikki Bella and Natalya because they can't have them in the same room, especially leading up to their match. They're going to face off on Sunday.
Wait. Before we even get into that, before that segment, Luke Harper cut a promo.
Was it before then?
It was
I don't
before
think
then.
it was before.
It was absolutely before.
No. It was later on.
You want to fight me for it? You want to fight me over this?
It was later on.
I'm positive of this, and you know why I'm positive of this?
Oh, you know what? You're right. Wait, Luke Harper's segment was before Apollo Crews and Dolph Ziggler, and then Nikki
It was
Bella.
the second thing on the show. I'm telling you. You know.
And then Nikki Bella's and Natalia's segment was later on, right?
You know why I know? No, Nikki and Natalia segment was right after the Harper segment. I'm pretty sure. The Harper thing was short. I know it because on our Instagram I posted the Harper thing before I posted the Nikki Natalia post. So
you're right.
So the Harper thing came. It was short and neat, like it was short and quick.
But I didn't forget about it. I just didn't remember that it was
before that. Yeah, I understand.
Cause that Harper thing, yeah, he bodied that. That was good. And you know what's crazy? How I was talking a couple episodes ago. I don't remember exactly which one about the fact that Harper looked like the snake in the grass because he was costing them the match.
Yeah.
Instead of Randy being the snake in the grass, which he's supposed to be as the Viper.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then, look, he mentioned that, like, you know, I've been saw the snake in the grass.
That
how do you take the head off of a viper?
Yeah, that's why I've been acting. That's why I've been fucking shit up because I've been saw the kind of guy he was. You know what I mean? Yeah. And almost like I was trying to, open up Bray's eyes to it. And he even mentioned like you tore apart my family. Like, what does a man have to lose when he don't have nothing? Like it was fucking fire, bro. Like I love that shit.
It's about time. They always wanted to give Luke Harper a good push anyway,
bro.
Separate him from Daniel. It's just, see,
Bray. Here's the thing. I don't think you need to separate him from Bray to do it. That's the thing. Why can't they dominate together? You know what I mean? Why can't they both have their own lane? You know, like Harper with the Intercontinental title would be dope. Give him an IC title.
But you know what? At the end of the day, I like what they're doing right now.
No,
so
I love it. Yeah, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, you could have did this even when they were together. You didn't have to separate them to do it. But it's great that they're finally doing it.
I'm glad they're doing it right now as well. But, so, that came before Nikki Bella and Natalya, as, you corrected me. But moving forward now, next segment, as you said, was Nikki Bella and Natalya. Yes. Talk about it.
Man, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, okay.
We had a commenter comment about this. How he felt like it's kind of messed up what's happening because they're real good friends.
Hold on, let me set this up. Okay, so I posted a picture on our No Politics Podcast Instagram of Nikki and Natalya, and I said, not sure how any of you have felt about this feud, but I've loved it from the start, and Natty has been awesome to me. We've been talking about this feud for a while, and a lot of people, I guess maybe it's just harder for them to get behind, the women's feuds, but I've loved this segment since the beginning of it, when Carmella came out and was instigating, and then Natalya finally confessed, and she called Nikki a bitch, I've been fucking with it since then. And every time we see them after, they're just straight brawling. You know what I mean? Just being nasty and, downright ugly to each other. And so I said that I've loved this. And we had a commenter. Shout out to Hector Huerta, I believe. I hope I'm saying that right. He said, in my opinion, it is very sad because they were very good friends. How you feel about that? How do you address this?
They are very good friends, and I'm pretty sure they spoke about these low blows ahead of time before they got put out there on public TV. So I think they're gonna be good.
Wait, hold on. Before you, cause I don't want to crush this little kid's dream. I don't know what he believes. I'm not about to just tell him Santa Claus ain't real.
Nah, Hector. All great true competitors can go to war and then shake hands afterwards.
Like that, man.
So don't worry, they'll be all right.
Man, that's like poetry. It's like the No Politics poetry session.
Right?
Man, okay. So I'm glad we got that out the way. But shout out to that comment. But man.
Word. But all in all, man, my thoughts on their feud, I'm definitely behind them. I actually mentioned, Natalya having troubles with becoming heel and getting the crowd to boo her, and it seems like now she's in full swing and the crowd's booing her. She's done a lot of crazy shit, a lot of low blows. She even said, "You got my crazy uncle on your side," and she told her that you're gonna be your aunt, and one day you're gonna be retired, and you're gonna see your sister with her baby, and
With
you're
a
gonna know that.
snot-nosed kid on your lap.
Yep, and you're gonna be like you're gonna know that you're never gonna have a kid, and John's gonna leave you for a woman, a different woman. He's gonna find a better woman than you or something like that.
And frankly, if she wasn't married,
Yep.
John would probably end up with me, she says.
Yo, I love it. I love it. Natty, keep doing what you're doing.
I thought it was great.
It's amazing.
Like you
I look forward
mentioned-
to this match.
Like you mentioned with it being difficult, it was difficult at first for her. It's like when you're a kid and you're not cursing yet, and when you say a curse word, you're like, damn, I can't be saying that, But then all it takes is a few more, and then you just going at that point. Like, then
Right?
it's every other word is a curse. So it probably just took a little bit to get into it, but she's killed in that role ever since. And I'm real hyped for this match going into the chamber.
Yeah, man. And that's the dope thing about SmackDown. That short little segment could just, lead up to anticipation for the pay-per-view.
And I love the way they explained it before you even move on. I love the way that they explained, like, we had to keep them separated. Because it's legit the fucking truth, bro. Like, like they haven't been in a fucking room together cordially, like. So this was perfect, and it made sense. It wasn't like, oh, we're just gonna do an interview. Like I like this.
Word.
I like
Props to SmackDown.
Yes, sir.
And then now let's move on. We get Apollo Crews. He's in the ring already, and he's set to face Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler comes out, and I'm like, oh shit, they switching shit up. Okay, we finally get the Apollo Crews with Dolph Ziggler match that we were talking about last week when we talked about SmackDown and how they keep putting him with Ziggler with Kalisto, and then Cruz comes for the save. So they get a match, and frankly, the match is quick. I literally blinked and I missed the match, but I did see Cruz get the roll up and get the pin, and then Ziggler got fucking mad as fuck and beat him down with a chair.
You blinked, I took a shit, so I missed the match also.
Yeah.
But
it was super quick. Like, Ziggler set him up for the super kick, went for it. Cruz ducked and rolled him up in a small package. 1, 2, 3. Ziggler gets the chair, starts beating him down like crazy and shit, fucking him up. Kalisto comes out. Kalisto starts giving him basically going at him. I mean, Kalisto starts going at him, going to fight him, giving him a few shots or whatever, and then he goes for his finisher, and Ziggler reverses it, and basically fucking crotches him, and fucking hits him with the chair, and fucks him up too, and then hits Cruz with the chair again and leaves. And when he's backstage, Daniel Bryan confronts him like, yo, what's up with you? You're just gonna,
hit people with chairs.
Yeah, hit people with the chairs when you lose and shit, and they just flip out. And Ziggler's like, I do that because I like to do it, and I know I can, because if I really wanted to beat him, I could just beat him, even if it was both of them in one match. And then Bryan books a fucking handicap match for Elimination Chamber.
I like this because I didn't know where this was going. I thought it was ultimately going to lead to Ziggler Cruz at Chamber. You know what I'm saying? And I complained about this. I said, why do we keep just seeing Ziggler and Kalisto and Cruz, making the save at the end? Like, why not have Cruz have a match and then Ziggler, like, fucks him over or some shit like that? But, so when they scheduled this match, I was like, okay, at least we're seeing something different. Like, they're not just going to keep, finding some bullshit. Like, they're going to say, okay, Ziggler Cruz, But then what I actually thought was going to happen was on Cruz's way to the ring, I thought, like, Ziggler would take him out or something, and they wouldn't have a match, and that'll just build for their chamber match, Cruz versus Ziggler. But they kind of threw us the swerve with it. Now it's a handicap match. Another thing I want to say that I liked is, and I don't want to seem like I'm just finding something to like with all of these segments, because initially, I didn't think of this till just now, but I like that all of these matches, it didn't hit me until you mentioned it, but all of these matches have been like blink and you miss it kind of matches, which means that they have so much to show at Chamber. They didn't just give us Ziggler and Cruz and give us a match and then we're like, oh man, we already seen this already when they set it up for Chamber. We've been getting these like these little quick finishes and roll ups to the point where it's like, yo, we still haven't even seen a legit fucking match yet. So now it's like, okay, there's at least there's some more for them to show us.
Ziggler still bodied Kalisto with that super kick last week, though.
He always bodies him with that super kick.
Right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I agree with what you said. Like, they giving you a little here, a little bit there. We thought they were going to slack off and fuck up, and then they give you a little bit with Cruz, and Cruz gets the win. But then Ziggler goes off his rocker and fucks niggas up. Like,
exactly. And here's what I like. It's actually fresher because instead of like seeing the same match over and over while leading up to the chamber, like they're doing such a good job, and they've done it with Nikki and Natalya, that they're not having them in a match. You know, they're avoiding them being in the same ring too much and still building it well. Like they're not showing us much, and so like we're so hype, and we're heavily anticipating the chamber matches. Like I like pretty much all these fucking chamber matches. I can't wait till we make our predictions, but let's keep it moving because I know I'm talking a lot and we got a lot to go.
Yeah. Next is the women going out to the ring for a double contract signing.
Oh man, love this.
Who comes out first? Wait, was Becky and Naomi already in the ring?
I believe they were. I might have. I was wiping at this point probably. So
no, actually, Mickie James and Alexa Bliss coming out first. Mickie James the first one to come out.
Okay. And I missed all their entrances.
What? Let me tell you, bro. Mickie was looking good in that little purple top.
Yeah, no, I could see that when she was standing in the ring.
Even in the ring, you're right.
I could see it when she was in the ring. I didn't miss it.
She posed at the top in the ring. I was like, ooh, okay.
Yo, she always stands like she can't put her right heel down. Like she always stands like on her right toes. Like you know what I'm saying, right? With like her knee, her leg bent. I don't know. You'll know it. When
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But let me tell you, yeah, man.
I mean, I ain't complaining.
For real. I'm not complaining.
It works.
And Alexa Bliss came out next, and I ain't complaining either. Like, not only is Alexa Bliss growing on me as a performer, but she's growing on me in other ways. If you get what I'm saying. But anyway.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
That's your girl. That's your girl.
Nigga, the problem is that's neither of our girls, all right? She's taken, and that's the problem. So you can't, can't be disrespected.
I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke with Buddy Murphy.
There you go.
Buddy Murphy. I feel you, man. I know she about to. Nah. But anyway, Becky Lynch and Naomi comes out next. Oh yeah, how could I forget? Naomi did her whole glow in the dark gimmick, and she had a glow in the dark coat this time.
I missed that actually.
Yeah, she threw it off, and she did her dance moves, and she slid on the ramp, and the lights cut on, and she was like, "What? We turned." If Rob Gronkowski was there, that nigga would have been. Sorry to mention the Patriots.
It's alright. I'm not even mad at Gronk. First of all, I love Gronk. Second of all, he didn't contribute to the.
But you know, if Rob Gronk heard her new song, he would embody that song.
Who?
Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, he would. I didn't hear what you said.
Because she got a techno song.
He would body that. Rob Gronkowski bodies anything. Rob Gronkowski, I wouldn't. He can dance to anything, bro.
Good one.
That man is great.
Oh, speaking of Rob Gronk, they had the belt at the championship. Sorry.
This is too much. Can we stay?
They had the championship belt at the parade.
I just can't even deal with you right now. This is why
I need to leave
this show sometimes. Because you getting way off track.
Let's get way back onto track.
Thank you.
And let's talk about the women
right now.
But first, I want you to look at your screen.
If you look at your screen, you'll see a middle finger in response to you holding up a Madden 17 Gronk cover at me.
If you guys are still there listening to us after I just took a few digs at my co-host over here about the Patriots and Falcons, what we were talking about is Mickie James, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and Naomi. They all came out to sign their contracts. They all had their little time on the mic. They cut some dope promos. Mickie James really went in on Becky. I was digging Mickie James' promo. And then Alexa cut in and did her promo. And then she was like, oh, Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forget Naomi? I almost didn't see you there.
Man, oh man, let me cut you off. I don't know if you had more to say. Mickey killed
Get
her
it.
promo. I thought Mickey was dope. I thought Becky was even better. I thought Becky was she addressed Mickey's points. She was, and this goes back to last week. Last week I mentioned that I loved the promo Becky cut, and this week was no different. And she wasn't too much with the straight fire and being too much. She was just serious, and I like her when she's serious. And she's been great. I thought her promo was better than Mickey's. Mickey had a little trouble getting the crowd behind her. I felt like a little bit, but so I thought Becky's promo was better than Mickey's. And then I love when Alexa starts coming at Becky, and after Alexa kind of goes in on Becky, she goes to sign the contract, and I'm like, and the first thing I said was, I didn't like that she didn't say nothing about Naomi. And then she picks up the mic, and I don't know if she did this on purpose. If she actually forgot to mention Naomi and like almost fucked up, she like picked it up like perfectly.
No, that was
There's
purposely.
no way. Yeah, okay. But like even if she accidentally fucked that up, like that was the perfect save for her. But then she goes, "Oh, I almost forgot you. Yeah, and I'm gonna beat you at." Like I fucking love that she just takes Naomi as like this afterthought. Like, that was the perfect way to handle that.
Is it me, or was Alexa Bliss glowing?
Is it me, or is she not always glowing? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're saying.
Lie.
She's glowing all the time for me. I don't know what the fuck Naomi's
But you
talking
know who's
about.
really
Feel
glowing?
the glow. No, I
You
don't
know
wanna
who's
hear it
really
'cause I knew
glowing?
that's what was coming. I just saved you from a terrible joke. I just cut it early. But what I was gonna say was, I love that she sees Naomi as like this afterthought, and I love that she doesn't even. That was a brilliant way so that she doesn't have to come at Naomi too much, because to be quite honest, they don't have that much history. They don't have that much buildup. They don't have that much animosity towards each other for Alexa to really go in on Naomi. You know what I mean? Like Becky and Mickey have that thing there where she's like, "I'm older, you're newer." But Alexa doesn't really have nothing to say about Naomi, so I like that. It was short and she didn't really say much, but what she did say was effective in covering that up.
But Naomi has the best comeback of all
I
time.
don't want to hear this bullshit.
Cause she go snatch your handball, girl.
That is the worst shit, and it's so cringe. And last week I mentioned it, and I think I mentioned it the week before. Because she keeps saying it, and it's like, please stop fucking saying this already, because it is.
Yep.
Oh man, I just hate it.
Fucking ridiculous, but it's funny.
It was okay before that. I just hate when they try to force too much. Like I don't like feel the glow. Like I don't like when it feels forced, and so like don't force your catchphrases on us.
Yeah, but then Naomi basically attacks Alexa.
She fucking kicks her from across the table. It was fucking awesome. That made up for the terrible line, I thought.
Definitely. She's definitely athletic and talented. Like, she got way better in the ring, too. And I fuck with her, She just, she's growing as a character and on the mic. So, give her the benefit of the doubt. Her, Alexa and Mickey get thrown out to the ringside. And then Naomi hits a suicide dive on them. And then Naomi and Becky stand tall in the ring, and Alexa and Mickey retreat.
Yeah. I can't wait for Alexa and Mickey to get their payback. But alright, that's it for that segment. I thought it was a dope segment.
Yeah, and I look forward to all three women's matches.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm actually hype about all three of these matches. Absolutely.
Yeah. They're going to put a lot of time and effort into those matches, I look forward to seeing it.
I hope so.
I think so. But we also learned that we have a turmoil match for Fastlane. Oh, we gotta do our Fastlane predictions. So let's get through this tag match, and then let's talk about this main event.
Don't disrespect SmackDown like that. It's the Elimination Chamber predictions, all right?
Oh, what did I say? Fastlane?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's a lot. WWE got mad shit.
I'm coming for your job, bro. I'm coming for your job right now. Listen,
we got a few people trying to send resumes on Instagram, so I might need a fill-in. But all in all, we get a 8-man tag match, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. 8 on 8.
Yeah.
Or 6 on 6, 12 man.
I think it was 12. Yeah, 12 sounds right.
Yeah. 6-on-6, 12-man. American Alpha starts it off. It was alright. I was unexpected, but Ascension get the win. After Rhino hit a gore on Connor, but then Victor came in with a knee to the face and just pins him. Like, is that really? That's what took him out?
Yeah, it looked weak for that to be it.
Yeah.
But
you know who actually had a little strong showing though? Aiden English from the Vaudevillains. He actually looked alright.
You, bro. That's when you said that Gotch has gotten them buried. I was like, man, if English goes on his own, man, he could do it. But
did you know that Aiden English is married to Eddie Guerrero's daughter?
Yeah, I read that maybe a month ago.
That's Eddie Guerrero's son-in-law.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
If you think about it.
Yep. That's
dope. Crazy. Yep.
But
yeah, it was a quick little match though for it being so many people in the match involved.
And I get that they're trying to build for the turmoil match, but this didn't really I was just whatever,
Now, what does the turmoil match consist of? Is it one team starts out, one team comes out, and if you eliminate that team, another random team
that's
comes
what
out,
I believe it is. That's what I've had in my mind, yes.
If that's the way it is, I remember they did this a while back in 2002 or 2000. Yeah, I think it was 2002 or 2003 with the No Way Out pay-per-view that the NWO debuted it on. And they did it, and they had Chuck and Billy and fucking Scott Hall and Rikishi and the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys, all in one match. I think Chuck and Billy won. So that kind of reminds me of that. They can do some dope shit with that. So I look forward to that match too at Elimination Chamber.
I do too. I got some predictions up the sleeve, so we'll talk a little later.
Okay. So let's move on. Main event time: John Cena versus Randy Orton, and they played a dope package showing the times these guys have faced off from when they began to now, and just their evolution together as wrestlers. That shit was dope as hell. And this match was fucking dope too, man. I loved it. How'd you feel about it?
I thought it was a great fucking match. I loved every man. And the end, oh my god, it was so dope. I don't know how quickly you want to jump ahead to that. But, man, I thought it was another match that was fucking... Oh, man, they killed the booking. Go through it and I'll explain exactly what I loved about it. Orton
started off strong. He was getting at Cena, beating him down around the ring.
Right.
Cena started gaining some momentum. Dumped Orton out to the ring side announce table. Cena then... Orton throws Cena back into the ring where Cena starts fighting back with a couple right hands and starting hitting him and shit. Cena hits a back suplex and then the 5-knuckle shuffle. Boom. That pretty quickly. It wasn't... They had about, I think, a good 12 minutes.
He tried to hit him with it before commercial or coming right off commercial and Orton kicked him. And he didn't get it, so then...
Yeah, because they did break it to commercial, right?
Yes.
And then came back?
Yes.
Yeah. See, when they do that sometimes...
it throws me off.
It throws you off with the match, yeah. But, basically, I guess... Then he later on after the commercial break, he finally hits the 5-knuckle shuffle. He goes for the attitude adjustment, and Orton kicks out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, shit, okay. I was expecting Orton to kick out, but at the same time, I was like, damn, is the match going to end that quick, too? What's going to happen?
Yeah, when I saw that, I felt like, man, he's kicking out of finishes. They're trying to make this almost like a pay-per-view match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like that because I don't think we're going to see this again, and I don't think this is going to be the Mania match. So I like that they're like, you know what, we'll give this to you. And even having the video package prior, it shows that they put in a lot into just this match. This match ain't going to happen at Mania, bro. This isn't it. This ain't the one.
It could be a
big
one, but it's not.
I like that they put so much work. If in the back of their minds, if they know this ain't the Mania match and we're having a singles match with them right here, let's go all out, And they didn't. It wasn't like they got 20 minutes, but still a strong match.
After Orton kicks out, I loved what happened next. Cena goes to the top rope to do I guess that leg drop he does on the top rope or something like that. But Randy gets up and reverses and hits him with a DDT from the top rope.
That shit
his little Orton DDT and Cena was just laid out. That shit was dope.
It was awesome.
Yep.
And then what? And then he gets the crowd
Or
into it. He's
yeah,
hyping it up, ready for the
yep, yep.
RKO.
And he
I
hits the
love that,
RKO,
yo,
and
bro.
then
I love that he got the crowd so hyped too, because they were kind of
yeah,
they were like shaky at this point, and he took like a good 10 to 15 seconds to get the crowd into it, and then like you said, he hits the RKO, and in my mind when he hit this, I'm like, yo, nobody's kicked out of the RKO. Like they've made the RKO like they've built it up so huge, in the past months since he's been back. Like nobody's kicked out of the RKO.
I know.
And when Cena kicked out of the RKO, it just added to this thought in my mind, like they're going hard with this. This is like pay-per-view, bro.
Yeah, that was when he hit that RKO. I was like, damn,
Damn,
he
is
gets the
Cena gonna
win,
get
and then
pinned
I'm like,
clean
damn, he got to
again?
kick
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Then Cena kicks out, and then they both basically try to go for their finishes again. But I think what's his name hits the referee and knocks the referee out when he has him like in the attitude adjustment, right?
Yeah.
Right, and then the ref gets knocked out, but then Cena puts him in the STF, and Orton taps mad
like
quick, and Cena
immediately,
gets up
yep.
to celebrate. Yeah, he gets up to celebrate. Wyatt runs in. They just start to beat down Cena. Cena goes to clothesline Orton out the ring. Wyatt but drops him with the Sister Abigail. Oh yeah, because they were beating him down, and then that was a dope fucking
I'm
moment.
telling you.
This Wyatt picks him up to go into the Sister Abigail, and fucking Randy goes on the ground, starts hitting like the RKO.
Yep.
That shit was dope,
That's what
bro.
they do, bro.
Oh, fucking loved it, man. But all in all, basically, Cena does get hit with the Sister Abigail, and Wyatt's standing there, and Luke Harper comes out.
What happens? Wait, what happens again? I know it's Cena. Like Wyatt, like offers up. Whenever Wyatt does that, he offers him up to Orton for the RKO. Cena broke out of the RKO somehow, didn't he?
Yeah, like he went like that, went to push him into the RKO, and then Cena like reversed it.
Okay. And then Wyatt still ends
But-
up Sister Abigail.
But his Wyatt just ended up grabbing him anyway and just hitting him with the
Okay.
RKO, boom, and laying him out.
And I love that. And we could continue. And then what
Yeah.
happens?
So then Harper runs to the ring. Harper goes face to face with Wyatt, and basically like
Does Harper run to the ring, or do the lights go out?
he ran to the ring. The lights didn't go out.
Oh, man.
He just ran to the ring, yeah. And then Wyatt was like looking at him and was like
Yeah, like, hey,
basically,
like, what
I
are
don't
you
know
gonna
if he
do?
was saying something, but he was looking at him like basically saying like I'm still your brother.
Yeah, exactly.
And Harper was like yeah, like shaking his head and like yeah, and then just ran at him and clotheslined the shit out of him.
Yep.
And then
Awesome.
basically spinning. Oh yeah, he does the spin
It's
and
like the discus. It's
clothesline.
called the discus.
Yeah, the
clothesline.
disca. Yeah. And Wyatt falls out the ring. Orton sneaks back in and hits Harper with the RKO. Harper pushes Orton away, and Cena hits Orton with the attitude adjustment. Oh yeah, he goes for the RKO. He don't hit him with the RKO. My bad. I said he hits him. He goes for
No,
it,
he
but
goes
Harper
for it on
reverses the
Harper.
RKO, and Cena is there and catches him in the attitude adjustment and gets the 3 count, gets the win. Cena celebrates in the ring, and he stands up on the 2 turnbuckles and puts the belt up. That was a nice little moment right there, and that's the end of SmackDown. And also, what was announced, we forgot to say, was Luke Harper next week. This Sunday against Randy Orton in Elimination Chamber. Too much shit going on, but we ready.
Yeah, that was the point of Harper's promo earlier in the night. It was that, like, he was like at Chamber, like, I'm gonna handle this,
Yeah.
And they confirmed it. Man, so much happened at the end of this main event. I loved it, man. I love that they didn't allow Orton to hit Harper with the RKO. Again, like, not showing it to us before Chamber. Like, I know he RKO'd him at Rumble, if I'm not mistaken. But, like, now that it's going to be one-on-one, I like that they didn't allow him to get that RKO on him. I love the foreshadowing of Bray Wyatt giving the Sister Abigail to Cena.
Yeah.
We could have seen Cena just get RKO'd by Orton, but no. Like, it was important to see Bray Wyatt give the Sister Abigail to Cena because that's who he's going to be in the Chamber with.
Yep.
Bray Wyatt wasn't involved in that fatal 4-way earlier in the night, and it was important that Bray Wyatt looked strong over the champion. Like, it's like almost how they had Corbin look strong over Styles, who's always a
Yep.
favorite, and elevating Corbin. It was important that to get Wyatt involved and to build his momentum, he gets a fucking Sister Abigail on the champion.
And those are the 6.
And that plays into this idea that a lot of people are saying Bray's going to win the title in the Chamber. So, what better way than to have Bray not even involved with the 4, but to be supporting his brother Randy Orton in the main event, and then to get the Sister Abigail on Cena. I thought it was fucking perfect. I'm mad hyped for the fucking Orton-Harper match, too. Like, I think that's going to be good. I can't wait. I thought they did a beautiful job not tonight, but
so let's
SmackDown.
get right into it then. Let's get right into it. Let's have our Elimination Chamber predictions.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into too much detail about all the matches. I'm just going to make my predictions, and then we'll do our Elimination Chamber recap episode, and we'll see whether our predictions were right, who was right, who was wrong, and how we're going to move forward going to WrestleMania.
I'm with it.
You with it? All right, let's start off with Mickie James against Becky Lynch in a singles match. I got Becky Lynch.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to say I'm interested to see what they even start the night off with. That's interesting to me. But I'm not going to make it too much. I think I'm going to go with Mickie James.
Mickie James?
I think that Mickie James is going to win dirty, of course.
Okay.
I think that Mickie James is going to win because I think Mickie needs, not that she needs to be built, not that she needs a win, but I think Mickie and Alexa, something's going to happen between them, so let Mickie get the win at Chamber. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. I wouldn't be mad if Mickie James won at all, but I don't know. I see, she's the veteran coming back, even though she's shitting on Becky.
Over Becky.
She still got to make Becky look good, maybe, so Becky might get the win. Becky's still going to be in the long run, always a title contender.
Exactly.
So
I like that it's a question mark, though. I like that, it could go either way. I'm going to go Mickie.
So let's move on. Next match, I'm going to predict American Alpha in a tag team turmoil match against the Ascension, Slater and Rhino, Breezango as the Fashion Police, the Usos, and the Vaudevillains.
Okay, well, I would assume, do you want to make your prediction first, or let me make mine first?
Honestly, simple prediction. I know it's going to be an interesting match, but American Alpha has to retain.
My opinion is I think that American Alpha will retain, with the Ascension being the last tag team they face, and then they think they won, and then the Revival's music hits.
Wow, that'll be awesome.
Now, I don't know.
Because it's a turmoil. It's a tag team turmoil.
Exactly. So now, I don't know if that would mean that the Revival are in the match. If the Revival debuts, they're winning that night. Especially if they're the last match and Alpha isn't fresh, and that'll be beautiful.
Statement.
It's also beautiful because you're not hurting American Alpha that much because they'll be tired, they'll be worn out against a fresh Revival team, and then that could set up Revival American Alpha at Mania, which is an amazing fucking match. That's gonna be a fucking low key show stealer if we see that at Mania. Or they could just have American Alpha retain, and then the Revival, showing up after, their music hitting after, but not fighting. I would rather the Revival take the titles off of them. But who knows? I mean, I don't know. But you
think the Ascension, based off of their win on Tuesday, do you think they get a good push in this match and look strong and ends up being them and American Alpha, the final two teams?
I do think that they'll be the final two teams. I'm not sure why.
The Usos always got a shot to be the last two teams too.
The Usos, I think, are gonna take out two or three. I think the Usos are gonna do work, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. I didn't like the build up too much, but I like what the match is, and so that's got some intrigue for me. And if the Revival shows up, man,
okay,
shit will hit the fan.
And then let's move on. So we both picked American Alpha.
Yeah.
Next
or
match,
the Revival if they're in it.
Nikki Bella versus Natalya. Who you got? This is the big one. This is
tough. You make your prediction first because I just
you
predicted
want to go
mine.
into detail?
I predicted
Alright,
mine
yeah,
first. Last
I
time.
feel you. I feel you. Um,
This is tough.
if I'm going with Becky getting the win on the last one, I gotta go Natty on this one. I definitely gotta go Natty on this one.
I'm
Plain
going.
and simple. That's just who I'm picking.
I'm going. I think I'm going Nikki on this one.
Nikki.
Yeah.
Okay. Nikki and Mickey.
Yeah, I think I'm going with that one now.
All right, no doubt. Nikki Bella, Natty. I just expect them to go to war. So
yeah, I want Natty to win because I think she's done a better job in this feud. I think I've liked her promo so much more than Nikki's anyway, and so I would want Natty to win. I think with the heel work she's doing, she could be elevated, but at the same time, I also feel like there's so many heels. Like if Bliss is doing well, and I got Mickey James winning, like kind of like how you said you have Becky winning. Like I almost feel like the heels are gonna be too dominant if Natty also wins. So like.
Yeah.
Get some Nikki mix
I could
in.
easily see it going your way as well. Like
exactly.
your way probably would be the more realistic way, but I don't know. I'm leaning towards the other side. So okay, that's interesting. Definitely gonna be 3 great matches. Next match, Alexa Bliss defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Naomi. I mean, Naomi's been looking strong. They've been giving her pins over the championship. Not champion, but it's not going to happen at the Chamber. It's not going to happen on pay-per-view. I mean, Alexa Bliss is no Charlotte, but Alexa Bliss is going to retain and definitely hold that belt probably till Mania.
Agreed. I ain't got much else to say. Alexa Bliss for me.
Bet.
And I love you, Alexa Bliss. Continue. Just had to throw that in there.
Nice. That was a good one.
Thank you.
And if last but not least, John Cena defends his belt in the Elimination Chamber.
No, you didn't mention.
Harper and Randy Orton.
There's another one you didn't mention.
Ziggler versus Kalisto.
Man, I was waiting for you to mention that. I was like, this guy got to get this one out the way first, and you didn't.
Wait, okay, if I forgot all about it, I would have saved Alexa Bliss and Naomi for the end, right before Cena. But, all right, let's get to Ziggler versus Apollo Crews and Kalisto.
I got Crews and Kalisto.
I got Crews and Kalisto, too. Ziggler's probably gonna lose it.
What I like about this is the fact that it's not gonna make Ziggler weak, and it'll help Crews and Kalisto as well.
Yeah.
So
I got them as well, and then Randy versus Luke Harper. Randy, of course, they gotta make him look strong. There's no way he loses going into Mania as the headliner.
Yep.
Randy all day. So those were 2 pretty easy predictions, and then last but not least.
Want to go on 3?
Can we go there?
Let's say it on 3.
What do you mean? Who we gonna pick?
Yeah, let's just say it on 3. Well, I don't know if we're both. Wait,
on
don't
one.
say it like we both have the same answer, because I don't know. Just say we're both about to make our predictions. Okay.
You definitely know what my answer is.
All right.
I mean, I'm pretty sure who's gonna win it, but that don't mean that's gonna be my prediction.
Hold on. Let me think about this for a second.
Okay.
Because I know who I want, and I know who I've been thinking.
Kill him with suspense.
This is...
On 3?
Alright, I guess I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Bray
Dean
Wyatt.
Ambrose.
Wow.
I just said The Miz. I should have said The Miz. Oh, man. Of course, Bray Wyatt. We all think he's going to win and face his brother, Randy Orton, who Luke Harper claims is a snake in the grass, and we got to keep an eye on him. So, we all think it's going to be Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton at Mania. But this could go a whole bunch of different ways. Cena can retain.
That's what I was thinking in the back of my mind. What I was thinking in the back of my mind was the fact that Styles does still have a rematch, a 1-on-1.
Yeah.
And that has to come into play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh man, we gotta mention this. I didn't even mention it at the end of SmackDown. But a commenter, Mr. Mr. Gacho ass, said that
Shouts
he
to
has
him.
Wyatt. He said he has Wyatt winning the Chamber match. Cena and Styles want a rematch for the title, which was what I was saying when I was trying to figure out my prediction for this, because I've been thinking Wyatt, and then at the last second before we made our predictions, I was thinking Styles still does want his rematch. Now, if Cena loses the title, he's going to want his rematch too. Orton has his match at Mania for the title. So, Mr. Gacho ass said he sees that in his mind, he thinks Wyatt wins the Chamber, Cena and Styles want a rematch, Randy is the Rumble winner, just as I stated, and ultimately he sees them in a Fatal 4-Way match
At Mania.
At Mania, which I think would be. I don't like the idea of.
I think he's thinking smarter than the actual writers for WWE.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's my thing.
Like, they should do that, because that would be fucking awesome. If this Fatal 4-Way match that happened tonight is any indication of what they can do with that roster in a Fatal 4-Way match, especially with AJ Styles in the match.
Bro, you just mentioned
they'll
this
steal the show.
4-Way. Yo, you just mentioned this Fatal 4-Way match tonight. I didn't even think about the one, not tonight, but on SmackDown. I was thinking about the one where they had the one a few weeks ago where they had Harper, they had
that one too.
They had Corbin. Like, that Fatal 4 match was dope. The one with Ziggler,
Miz,
and Styles. No. It was
Ziggler. You're right.
Styles, Harper, and Corbin.
Yeah.
Bro, Ziggler, Styles, Harper, and Corbin, bro, and it was awesome. I believe that's what it was, wasn't it?
Styles wasn't in it.
So Styles wasn't in that? Yes, he was, because
he was the champ. It was for.
Oh, it was Miz,
Ziggler, Corbin, and Harper.
Bro, I don't even remember, but listen to those names compared to the names Orton, Cena, Wyatt, Styles. And listen to those first names, which I thought that was a fucking awesome match. That was the match that Corbin was late to break the cover. No, Styles was in that match, bro.
He was?
Because Styles got hit with the super kick, remember? And he had to kick out because Corbin was late to break the pin.
You're right, yeah.
So who was the fourth
and he
in
was
that
defending. Match? Was he defending the belt in that match?
I believe he wasn't he?
All I know is, listen, it's been 2 great Fatal 4-Way matches. If they put another one with those guys
with these
in Mania,
names, bro,
yeah, it'll be amazing.
Exactly. Here's my skepticism, though, is that you already kind of have the Orton Wyatt thing on its own. You could make that a 1-on-1, as well as you could even make Cena Styles a 1-on-1. You know, the be all end all. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like, yeah, we've seen it, but why not? You know, they love that shit so much. Why not have it on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania? So I could see them doing it like that. And like you said, this might be smarter booking than the writers are even thinking. But that would be fucking awesome, because SmackDown's been killing it with these Fatal 4-Ways.
So definitely, big shout out to Mr. Got Your Ass.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so our prediction for the winner will be Bray Wyatt. You going with that?
Going Bray Wyatt.
Going Bray Wyatt too.
How do you think it happens? Do you think Orton gets involved? Do you think someone enters the chamber?
Maybe. I don't know, man. I really can't put a finger on it, but just based off rumors and everything, it has to be Bray. And not even if I was a person that didn't look at rumors, you know, the way things have been booked and the way Bray Wyatt has been kind of like this strong entity just coming for what he feels he deserves, you know, and like him laying out, like him not being involved in that Fatal 4-Way match, but then him laying out John with that sister Abigail.
Exactly.
It just says something to me, you know?
Him being the other SmackDown survivor to last in the Rumble. Like,
that as well.
They've been building up Bray really well. Bray hasn't looked bad in a while.
Yeah.
He's kind of looked untouchable with Orton by his side, too.
Yeah.
Which is why I think if somehow Orton can get into that cage, not necessarily, like, he doesn't have to, like, but, like, I can see a weird moment where Orton kind of lets Bray, like, kind of helps Bray to the win. And then it's
Yeah.
kind of weird because Bray must know what this means, kind of. You know what I mean? It'll hint at
Unless
that.
Bray's the last man to enter the chamber, you know?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
dude's basically like cleaned house already. It's probably gonna be like the last four or something, like or the last three, like maybe it'll be Corbin, Styles, and Cena, and fucking what's his name, Bray Wyatt will still be in the thing, and then one of them will take him out. Maybe they'll take Styles out, and it'll be Corbin or maybe I doubt it. Corbin will get taken out. Probably be Cena, Styles, and Bray Wyatt, the last three.
bro, it can go so many ways. I just feel like it would be a weird moment if Randy's the one to basically help Bray get the title, almost like, look, I helped you attain, the gold, but then like a smirk because he knows like I'm coming for it now. Like
Yeah.
I won the Rumble and you know it and I know it, and this, I've put you in this place where it's you versus me. I've taken away Harper. He's gonna have destroyed Harper early in the night already, and so now it's like, look, I basically put you in this position, me versus you, and you have no help, and I'm gonna beat you. Like, think about that.
Word.
Like, I put the title on you because I'm going to take it from you. And I've
Well,
got
we'll
you
see.
right where
I don't know.
want you.
I don't know. We'll see
Oh
though.
my
But
God.
before we end
I'm
our
hearing
predictions,
voices. I'm hearing voices. Listen, I'm hearing voices.
before we end our predictions, let's make one cool, quick prediction. Who do you think's the first one eliminated in the chamber?
I was gonna actually say, who do we think are the first two in?
Okay, let's do both.
I want to say I see Styles being one of the first two in, because that way Styles won't look weak when he gets eliminated because he's gonna have lasted so long.
Ambrose
That's
style.
a good way
Ambrose style. First
I
two
don't know
in.
about
Ambrose and style. First one eliminated. Ambrose.
I want to say Styles. I'm going to say Styles and Miz or Styles and Ambrose, like you said. I think Styles and Ambrose because... just to be different, I'm going to go Styles and I don't know. I would go either Styles, Ambrose, Styles, Miz. I would say the first eliminated is... See, here's the thing, because you got to think about like who they want to build up in a feud going forward, too. So
and Ambrose is their Intercontinental Champion, so they don't want to make him look weak.
That's true. I would say Miz, man.
Yeah, but I'm going to say Ambrose anyway still.
Okay. I would say Miz.
First one eliminated. First I was going to say Miz, but I'm like, Miz could eliminate Ambrose, and that'll build towards them doing something for Mania.
That's true, too.
You know?
Yeah. That's true.
So, yeah, quick, cool little predictions. My first two in the Elimination Chamber will be AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. And then a first one eliminated for me will be Dean Ambrose getting eliminated by The Miz.
And I believe I have Miz and Styles, with Miz getting eliminated first. But I was going to say, I always enjoy when they have the race against the clock, when they have all the 6 chamber competitors in quick matches where they're trying to have the best time so that they could come out last in the chamber.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always enjoy that. They obviously can't do it. It's a 2-hour show, and they have other things to build towards, so I can see why they didn't do that. But I always like that going into chamber matches. A bit, not upset that they didn't do it, but I'm still intrigued by this.
This year gives more intrigue because it's like, we don't know.
We don't even know. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's cool. But yeah, on that note, I mean, I look forward to Elimination Chamber. I definitely was digging Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night Smackdown Live. And I look forward to seeing...
What you was digging better, though?
I was digging both of them. But I'm definitely digging to seeing the fallout from Elimination Chamber. And I look forward to talking about the whole pay-per-view on a recap. Any last words before we sign off?
Yeah, catch me at Working Genius on Instagram, on Snapchat. Make sure you follow at No Politics Podcast on Instagram. Find us on SoundCloud. Find us on YouTube. Coming to iTunes very soon, as always. It was a great show, I thought. I'm giving it to Smackdown as always. Faking no moves. He's just saying both because this is what happens when you in denial. It's tough. He's gonna get there though. He's gonna get there. Give him some time, listeners. Don't be mad at him. I know. I know he be bugging sometimes. Give him some time to come over to the A show.
Patriots.
I knew you was gonna say some dumb shit. Oh man.
Yo, everybody out there, thank you for listening. We appreciate every listen. Shout out to all the commenters out there. Make sure you guys go follow me at Faking No Moves, FAKINNOMOVES. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at No Politics Podcast. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on SoundCloud. And like my man said, we're gonna come to iTunes soon. On that note, peace.